Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Roblox DEEPWOKEN reaction. Today we have another one from Nectigonus, of course, it's DEEPWOKEN. And this is A Light in the Sky, specifically the band version as requested by Heferus in the comments of the last video. And quite a few people wanted me to get to this one, so I'm gonna be getting to it today. I suppose that's about all I gotta say, so without further ado, let's go! Okay. Not the vibe I was expecting at all. Very tavern core right now. I like the variety in it. Picking apart all the included instruments right now, and I'm like, okay. Kind of vibing with it. This one's kind of hard to tell where it would play, just because I can think of so many varieties of location that this would kind of fit in. And of course, since I don't play the game either, I don't know what options are available. I'll try to figure it out in my my post-listen, but I like that the trumpets are stronger there. That actually feels really nice. Whew. And the percussion has been like steady as a support, as percussion usually is, but that little transition in, very forte, very loud. Beautiful energy. It's like listening to a wave. You can feel the energy just constantly going up and down like roller coaster. It's really, really cool. But also, again, kind of difficult for me to figure out where this would be played. There's so many options for what it could be. Like, it could be a tavern, but it could also be like a small village. It could be, legitimately, it could just be like a walking path. Like, there are so many locations that this sound would fit. But I have to figure out which one I want to commit to, you know? So I think I've decided what I want to commit to. Light in the Sky gives me the idea, but also the imagery on screen, clearly Halloween-y, right? Like, that's going without saying, and a lot of you are going to be seeing this around the time that it is Halloween-ish. It'll be like early, mid-October by the time this goes public, so very of the times. Either way, though, I think that this song is trying to allude in title to the light in the sky being the moon, and then this theme, obviously Halloween-y, is just kind of perfect for that vibe. It's that old-timey Halloween, Hallowtide sort of thing, where it wasn't entirely the concept of like capitalistic Halloween yet. We had a lot more like festivals going on, street fairs, stuff like that, a little bit more medieval in that way. And I think this really captures that sound well, which is why I was like, ooh, and I was like super interested in hearing all of the instruments that were included. I got to hear some stuff I haven't heard in a while, but also not the usual stuff you always keys here. Like, it wasn't just laying into the harpsichord the whole time like everyone thinks that that era was doing. It was kind of more of like an 1800s, maybe as old as 1600s sort of sound. It was a different tone, and it wasn't leaning so hard into that one stereotypical sound that every Halloween-y sort of track does, you know, that classical sound we expect. So all that's to say, I assume that this song is played at night, probably in a town square or something, during a Halloween event for DEEPWOKEN. I didn't know that they had events like that in these games, but who am I to figure that out? I don't know how these games function. I don't know how they update, what they go for, if there's, you know, holiday-specific events. Any of that stuff was completely foreign to me up until now. And now I'm very confident that that's a thing because of this. Either that or it's just a Halloween-themed location in the game. It might not be like a specific event thing, but either way, that's the vibe I'm getting out of here. Nighttime, Halloween, that's the vibe. And I do like it. There's a lot going on with this one. And again, very nice hearing some like traditional instruments that don't get used too often or are used imperfectly, because it feels a little bit more organic that way. Like some of the percussion in here, the tambourine, for example, that was in there. You weren't listening to a perfect sampled tambourine sound, right? Like, it was a little imperfect. It was played by hand, you could tell. And also some other things in there, like the drums, they weren't being hit perfectly on sync at the exact same time, the same location of the drum. Some hits were a lot closer to the center, some were a lot closer to the edge, and that's variety that samples really don't get to do too often. So I think that's the variation of band version that's so specific to this one. I assume that he either hired people to play these instruments, or he was just super careful about what samples he used and made it feel more organic, because some people are really good at that, and I would not put it against Nactigonus to pay that close of attention to sound design. So it could be either one of those, but given that it's distinctly the band version, it's probably something that they've like commissioned people to be a part of, players of these instruments, of all the violins that were in here, the accordion, like all of these things, and made this sound so real and so tactile, because it was. And that, to me, is probably the biggest shock of this song. It's that it sounded so authentic while being part of a Roblox game. You know, like I do talk about how, oh, it's just a Roblox game quite often, but I also don't want people to misunderstand me and think that I'm like underestimating it anymore. I am aware that there are a lot of devs out there that make games on Roblox who put their whole Robloxy into it. I am totally in support for that, as long as they're doing it well and they're putting a lot of effort and care in. I will respect a game for being what it is. Will I play them? Probably not. The art style of Roblox just is not for me as a whole. The default models look like ass, and I am almost 30 years old. It's just kind of not my scene. But I do not deny good game design and good sound design when it's made. And all of this for a game that's one of the most requested titles for Roblox stuff I get to on a regular basis. So I know people love this game, and I see why. Nactigonus does an amazing job with the sound. I'm sure the gameplay is perfectly fine, but just, again, not really my thing, but everyone's a little bit different. We're all subjective here, but that doesn't mean that it's bad by any means. The general point I want to make there is, no matter what the game is, if you put love and care into it, people will notice. Obviously, this is a shining example of that. So if you're working on something, put as much of yourself into it as you can. Get people who are similarly involved, who want to make something cool, to make something that they love, to make something they're interested in. Because if they're personally involved, then it will be good. That's just kind of how art works. If you put yourself into it, people will resonate with that. And that is one of those key factors that I think a lot of people tend to miss out on. They're just trying to make the next big popular thing and following the trends, and they don't actually care. And that is definitely what makes these sorts of games way different from all the other slop that is on Roblox that I'm sure you've all played. But I think I've yapped about this one enough, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to request something else from Roblox, doesn't matter what game it's from, as long as it's a good song. It could also be a really bad song, like throw me something crappy maybe once in a while. I'm definitely open to critique as much as I am just endlessly praising. If you have something you think is stupid, but is like overrated maybe, throw it at me. Let's see what happens. But if you don't want to do any of that, and maybe you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that. And I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!